Some celebrities are really mean behind the scenes, and we're going to be exposing even more mean celebrities in today's video. I'm Mackenzie Smith, and let's get into the top 10 celebrities who are mean in real life part 7. But first, make sure to subscribe if you're new here. And at number 10, David Letterman. Several old interview clips of David Letterman's have resurfaced in the last year, and many are saying that he crossed major lines. One example was with Lindsay Lohan in 2013. She did the interview recently out of rehab, and Letterman persistently asked her questions about it, even though she made it clear that she didn't want to be asked about it. However, he unfortunately kept pressing, leading her to cry. Next, he did an unfortunate interview with Janet Jackson. Letterman was pressing her about her infamous Super Bowl incident, asking her questions about how her wardrobe malfunction came to be. Right after she was asked about it, she replied, quote, "I don't want to relive any of that." But Letterman kept asking, while Jackson looked like she wanted to be anywhere but there. This is literally the tip of the iceberg, and there are so many more horrendous moments with women that took place on his show. And at number 9, Michael Jordan. Basketball legend Michael Jordan is the idol of many who love the sport. But there's apparently a very rude and entitled side of him that one golf caddy saw firsthand. Allegedly, this golf caddy was caddying for Jordan the whole day. And at the end of the long and I'm sure stressful day, all the other players tipped their caddies, as that's the custom in golf. However, Michael Jordan did not tip his caddy, and the caddy's first thought was that maybe Jordan was unhappy with him and maybe he did a bad job for him. So he asked Jordan if everything was good, and he allegedly responded, quote, "What do you want, a tip? You should feel lucky to carry my clubs." And when rich people don't tip, it truly just ticks me off to a whole other level. Like, the entitlement is just so crazy. And at number 8, Dove Cameron. Dove Cameron is a Disney star who is beloved by many for her kind personality. However, many fans were shocked to learn that she definitely has a mean side. One incident happened when a fan tweeted out saying how their goal in life was to have Dove notice her. And while that goal was achieved, but not in the way that she hoped. Dove ended up responding savagely to the fan, saying, quote, "That's a very small and unimportant life goal. And maybe if I notice you, you'll realize how unfulfilling that is and turn your phone off because celebrities don't matter. Go find yourself in nature and create your own life philosophy. Aim higher, babe." And if you interpret what she's saying the way that Dove was probably intending, it can be implied here that Dove just wanted the fan to realize that being noticed by Dove, wouldn't help her in life in any way, and to stop putting so much meaning on it. But obviously the way Dove said it was really harsh, and if I was the fan, I probably would have been heartbroken. And at number 7, Terry Hatcher. This one breaks my heart because I'm a huge fan of Desperate Housewives. I'm currently rewatching it right now. I'm on season 8 if anyone's wondering. But apparently on the set of the hit show, she was known as the mean girl, and all the leading ladies got along except for her. One of her co-stars told the creator of Desperate Housewives that she was the, quote, "meanest woman in the world." She was not only a pain on the show, but on practically all of her projects, and she now has a reputation for a bad attitude. Back when she was filming Tomorrow Never Dies, co-star Pierce Brosnan called her out for never being on time. Luckily, she's a good enough actress that people put up with her bad attitude on set. And at number 6, Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan has a reputation for being controversial and saying whatever's on his mind, regardless of the consequences. But this behavior has earned him a reputation of being mean, specifically towards Meghan Markle. And there's actually a dating story behind it that makes the whole thing even more juicy. Apparently, the two went on a date, and Meghan ghosted him afterwards, spawning his hatred of her. Most recently, after Meghan's explosive interview with Oprah Winfrey, Piers did not hold back, trashing her on Good Morning Britain. Before him, the other host could even discuss the topic, he went on raging about how the interview is tarnishing the reputation of Britain around the world and hurting everything the Queen has worked so hard for. After the outrage from viewers, Piers decided to step down from the show. Halfway at number 5, Kiefer Sutherland. Apparently, Sutherland had a lot in common with his 24 character, Jack Bauer, as both of them constantly got on the nerves of their colleagues. According to an interview with Freddie Prinze Jr., he claimed that Sutherland was very unprofessional and he hated working with him on 24. Prinze Jr. said, quote, "I did 24, it was terrible. I hated every moment of it," with him adding that Sutherland was the most unprofessional person that he ever worked with. And he felt so sternly about it, he would say it to his face if he ever confronted him about it. Another co-star also spoke about her disdain for Sutherland, saying that working with him was very hard because he's a very angry person. angry with himself and others, which he took out on anyone who got in his way. And at number 4, Patrick Dempsey. McDreamy was the lovable and kind hero in the hit show Grey's Anatomy, but his behavior when the cameras were not rolling was completely different. And apparently he was such a diva, he ended up being fired from the show. Shonda Rhimes, the show's creator, head writer, executive producer, and showrunner, announced that she adopted a quote no a-holes policy, apparently after working with Dempsey. Allegedly, a big part of the reason that he was fired is because he was disrespectful to the crew of the show. When he was killed off the 15th season, fans were shocked, but those close to the show knew it was a long time coming. A source close to the situation told Radar Online that Rhimes had no choice but to fire Dempsey. Quote, he had been showing up late and was holding up production because he couldn't remember his lines. And at number 3, Hailey Bieber. Hailey Bieber was called out by TikTok influencer Julia Carolan when Julia made a video series exposing celebrities that were rude to her while she was working as a hostess at a popular Manhattan restaurant. In the video, she commented on Kylie Jenner and the Hadid sisters, and when it came to Hailey Bieber, she rated her interactions with Hailey to be a 3.5 out of 10. Saying in the video, quote, this is gonna be controversial. I've met her a handful of times and she was not nice. I really wanted to like her, but I give her a 3.5 out of 10, sorry. But most shockingly, Hailey actually responded in the comments of the TikTok, apologizing for the situation. Responding in the comments that Hailey was so sorry if she'd given Julia a bad vibe or attitude. It's hard to say if this was just a bad interaction or a pattern of behavior, but it's great to see that Hailey apologized. And at number 2, Rachel Ray. Rachel Ray is someone who I'm not too surprised to see on this list, because from watching her show, I never really got the vibe that she was trying to be really nice. The celebrity chef is known for being pretty brutal, and she doesn't have much of a filter when dealing with people. That's why negative interactions are pretty common with her. One encounter came from someone who was working in a mall while she was visiting for a book signing. Basically, they were both sitting there just waiting around, and there was an awkward silence. And like a lot of other people would have done in that situation, he just decided to, spark up some conversation, make some casual small talk, and ask her how her day was going. And apparently, without even looking up from her phone, she replied, quote, don't talk to me. Yikes. And finally, at number 1, Matthew Perry. Matthew Perry is best known as the lovable Chandler from Friends, but his personality in real life is anything but. And sadly, an intern found that out the hard way. Apparently, he showed up to the studio because he was on a press tour, but when Perry arrived, he threw a huge tantrum and refused to participate in the press tour. And apparently all that stress that was put on the people working there was because they didn't get him the sugar-free Red Bull that he requested. Even though he didn't want to do the interview, he was forced to because of a contract. But he made sure to do the absolute bare minimum, and he was terrible on camera. Then when he went to leave, he refused to use the car his publicist got him because it wasn't up to his standards, and he got his own car instead. And apparently after all that, his publicist was in tears. I don't blame her, I probably would be too. So that's all for this, guys. Let me know your thoughts below. But before I go, I'm gonna shout out some comments from my video on weirdest celebrity couples. MLG Gamer said, wasn't Harry Styles supposed to be in a movie being directed by Olivia Wilde, probably for PR? Yeah, I said that in the list. Honestly, there's a big part of me that thinks that it is just a PR relationship. I just don't understand why it would be a director-actor. Usually it's actor-actor, but Florence Pugh, the other woman who's in the movie with Harry Styles, is in a long-term relationship, so maybe she didn't agree to be in the publicity stunt, so it was them two. There's some fishy there. I just feel that way. Then Play With Tay said, this video is great. Thank you so much. Then Jimmy said, hi Mackenzie, hope all is well with you. Thank you so much, Jimmy. Everything is pretty good with me. Moved into a new place. There's a lot of noise pollution around here, a lot of car alarms, stuff going off, I don't even know. But other than that, it's been really, really good. Alright guys, that's all for the video today. Thank you so much for sticking around if you made it all the way here. If you liked the video and want to see more, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel below. I've been your host, Mackenzie Smith. Make sure to check us out on social media, and I will catch you all in the next one.